friends, Cassie here. I'm talking to you today about this month's take-home craft for adults, where we'll be making our own DIY string art kits. Or you'll be getting your own DIY string art kits. And I made a little sun, as you can see here. You'll get almost all of the supplies you need. Some stuff you will have to provide on your own is a small hammer. You're gonna need some scissors, some glue, and either like a pencil or a marker to help finish this up. Make sure you sign up to get this craft kit and keep watching to learn how to make this on your own. In your craft kit, you're going to have your wood slice. You'll have some shape templates. You'll have some nails, your string, and then some extra ribbon that'll go through the top at the end. You're going to need some scissors, a marker, or like a pen or something to draw your dots. Tweezers make this a lot easier. You're also gonna need a small hammer or mallet. I have a regular sized one. I'm gonna see how it works. And then a ruler as well. I think ruler will help. So when you get started, you're gonna first decide which shape you want to make. So I printed out a star, a heart, a moon, and a sun. You're welcome to kind of freestyle it. You could do a letter, whatever you want. I'm gonna do the sun because it's the shape that's the most complicated. So I thought it might be good to show you how best to make it. So you're gonna wanna cut out your shape. And for the sun, I'm gonna cut along the edges of the sun's rays, just to make it a little easier for when I'm putting my shape on top. Okay, like so. And then this one, you can kind of do one of two ways when you're making your design. So you can have it where you cut out your shape in the center, and then you have each ray be an individual line, or you can kind of have each ray be attached to your circle. I'm gonna finish cutting this and then I'll explain what I mean after. Okay, so I have my two pieces cut out. So what I was saying earlier is you can kind of do your the sun one of two ways. You can do it like this, so I'll have the circle in the middle and I'll fill in that piece. And then you can have it where each line is its own individual piece. So I would put a nail here and here, and then connect those two, a nail here and here, connect those two. So pretty much that way, each line would be on its own and it wouldn't be attached to the circle. Or you could do it where you don't have the space between. You have your circle, and then you just put a nail on the edge of each line. And then when you fill it in, you'd fill in the circle and then go up, and the line would be connected to the circle. So I know that's kind of confusing, but once it's drawn, I think you'll understand a little better. But I'm gonna do it so that each one is individual. So what you wanna do is you are gonna put your template down and kind of figure out if you like the spacing. I'm just trying to make sure it's centered for this dot up here as well. And then you're gonna wanna draw your dots. So I always like to make sure I have a dot on the top or the bottom. So I'm just gonna put a dot there and a dot there. And then I'm gonna actually move this for now as well. And then you kind of wanna put another dot, probably about a ½ inch max away, or a little shorter. So if you can see, so here's my circle. A ½ inch would be here, but I'm gonna do it in the middle, so about a ¼ inch. And I just wanted to measure that first one, but the rest I'm just gonna kind of go based off sight. You don't want them too close because then that'll make it hard when you're going to wrap everything, but you also don't want them too far away because if they're too far away, you're not going to really be able to tell what the shape is. So there's my circle. I think that's a pretty good shape. And then I'm going to put this over it, like so. And I'm going to put the dots along the ends, the edges. So where my lines are, I'm going to put a dot there, 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 like so. This one kind of fits perfectly in this space. Each wood slice, it's not a perfect circle, so you might have to either make yours a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger to fit. And then I'm gonna put a dot on the inside of each one. So there's gonna be a tiny little space. So I'm just doing a little tiny dot on the inside of each line. Like so. All right, so now I have my shapes done, and I'm going to need to put a nail in each space, each dot. So as you can see, there's just a tiny little space on the inside. I probably should have made that a little bit bigger, but I didn't feel like cutting more. It probably would have looked a little better if the dots were a little shorter. When I go to put the nails in, I might still make it a little smaller. We'll see. So now we want to start nailing, and the easiest way I've found that is to use your tweezers, and you're going to put your nail on the inside of your tweezer like this, and you want to make sure your nail isn't longer than the side of your piece. So see right here, my nail is longer than the wood slice. So I want to make it a little shorter, like so, and then when I put it up against it, it doesn't go all the way to the edge, but that's still kind of a little deep. So I'm gonna, again, make it a little bit shorter, because if the nail went all the way through on the other side, you have a bigger chance of, first of all, your wood slice cracking, and second of all, you're gonna have like pointy edges on the other side, and that's not gonna work. So then I'm gonna put my nail where the dot is, and I'm just gonna hammer it down until my tweezers hit the wood slice. So there we go, I have a nail in, and it's not on the other side. So I'm just gonna essentially do that for all of my dots, and I will come back when I've finished that. Okay, so I have finished putting all of my nails in. This does look like a lot, because this one is probably the more complicated shape you could make. I did want to mention my mallet. The regular size mallet was definitely way too big, but I ended up just using the handle size of a screwdriver, and it worked out really well. So just that little tidbit. So as you can see, I didn't get through on the back, and before I start stringing, I just kind of like to make sure that none of these are loose. So see, that one's a little wiggly. I'm just gonna hammer it a little so it's a little more secure. All right, so now none of them are loose, and I am ready to start stringing. So for this one, I'm gonna do the center first. So that is this center circle here. I find it easiest to start out with a loop before you hook it in, just because it's a little tight to work there. So I'm just gonna start at the bottom for this one. So this one right here, I'm gonna loop it over and then pull. You can double knot it here if you want, but I do like to leave a good amount of excess for this first loop, because then I like to tie it off at the end. So I'm just gonna make sure this extra piece is hanging that way. And now I'm just gonna start stringing. So again, I wanna stay in just this center circle, and I'm just gonna go and, you know, just start looping it around. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. You can do it however you want. You do want to make sure you're getting it all the way under the nail head. So see how sometimes I catch just a center, like a little piece, and it comes out. So you just want to make sure you're going deep enough to get all the way under the nail. And we want to make sure all of our pieces or all of our nails are caught, like so. Let me see. I think I'm just gonna go around a couple more times, but you want to make sure each one is done at least once. So I think that's good for covering the center. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around each individual nail to kind of give it a good outline. So before I do that though, I wanna try to push these down just a little. And again, not again, but I didn't mention this. You wanna make sure you're keeping the string nice and tight. If you do this too loosely, it's just, you know, you wanna have a nice tight tension in the center here. It'll look much better, and then if it was loose, you're not going to really be able to tell what the shape is as well. So now that I've pushed them all down slightly, I'm going to go around and kind of do an outline. And to do this, I'm going to go around each nail head and just wrap it around. So like so, wrap it around each one. And I'm just going in order. For this part, I'm not skipping any, just going around each individual nail, like so. All right, and I've completed my loop, but actually I didn't, that's a lie. All right, and see, this is where it can get a little tricky. Hold on, okay. Gonna push these down a little bit more. And that's why I said this one's probably the most complicated one, because I have so many nails they can get caught on. So now I've done the outline for my sun, the center of my sun. And I actually think I'm going to do a second loop around so that it's a little more defined, like so. And I want to make sure I end at this last piece where I started, right down here. I think I already went around too many times, but I'll just keep going until I get to that spot because I wasn't paying attention. All right, so I'm gonna finish going around and I'll come back to show you how to tie it off. Okay, so I am at the spot where I started, and I am going to tie these together. Okay. And this is why I said to make sure you leave yourself a nice long string at the end. so that you can tie it easily. And I'm just gonna cut this here because I have too many pieces getting stuck together. I'm gonna tie this off screen because it's kind of hard this far away. Okay, so I finally got that double knotted over there, and I'm just gonna cut my extra string. And I left myself a little tail because I'm gonna just kind of loop it in. You can always grab some glue and put some extra glue, like put some glue on your fingertips to kind of stick these together. I forgot to grab glue, so I'm just gonna kind of squish these in there like so. Okay, so my centerpiece is done, and now I'm gonna show you how to do one of the rays, and then you can finish those on your own. So for each individual ray, you're gonna do them, so these two nails go together. So again, we're gonna loop it, and I'm making myself the loop before. And leaving myself a nice long piece to work with at the edge so I can tie it off. And then this one is connected to this nail here, so I'm just going to wrap them around each other probably like 3 or 4 times, so just like so. And then you're gonna wrap this around and tie them together. So the rays aren't that complicated. It's just, you know, a lot of tying for each individual one, which can get a little tedious, especially when they decide to pop off just like that. So I'm gonna finish this off screen. Okay, I got it tied off, and I'm gonna cut away my extra. I'm gonna leave myself again a little loop and grab some glue after and kind of push them together. But that's how you do each ray, and I'm just gonna go and finish all of those and show you the final product. Okay, and here is the final product. This is definitely a more advanced string art. If you've never done string art before, I wouldn't recommend doing this shape. There's a lot of steps that go into it, for sure, but this is what the final piece looks like. And then we just need to put the ribbon through our little hole up there. And what I like to do is just get a paper clip, and let me do it this way and kind of just help push it through like so that it comes out this side. And then I'm just gonna tie it right up top so that I have something to hang this by. And if you don't like this ribbon, feel free to use whatever you have at home, but this is what your final piece will end up looking like. I hope you had fun making this. Bye.